Hey, it's your girl Ashley. I'm back with another video, and let's talk about innocent people in prison. Actually, that's why I wanted to be a defense attorney in the first place, to defend the people that can't fend for themselves. To defend people that can't defend for themselves when they're innocent. And they do have the Innocent Project, which I love because it needs to be something. I mean, something needed to be done about the innocent people being put in prison and jail for no reason. You know, I would rather the guilty person go free than an innocent person in prison. And then what's so crazy to me about it is when they're proven innocent, even though they were supposed to at the beginning, if they did the work that they were supposed to do, they act like they don't want to say sorry. They don't want to get compensation for anything that happens. Like, you can't replace taking someone's life because you were terrible at your job. And I understand the pressure of the media and everybody wants you to solve this correctly, but you're not doing your job. You're not doing your job, and you're just hurrying up and putting somebody away for a crime that they didn't even commit. It was so horrifying to me when I saw the West Memphis case, where they just felt like it was three teenagers. Well, if you don't know about the case, 3 young boys were murdered in West Memphis, in Arkansas, sorry. But it's the West Memphis case. It's in Arkansas. And they were trying to put together who killed these 3 little boys. It had to be, of course, more than one person. You know what? It had to be more than one person. Okay, we're going to debate about that later. Okay, but so they thought it was these 3 teenage boys that had a little place by the river, by the creek that the little boys were found at. They had also been violated down there, like someone, it's just a crazy case. And so they thought that the 3 teenage guys had did it, even though it was so wild to me, because one of them had a very solid alibi on where he was that night, and they did not care about the alibi. They didn't care about the facts of the case. They just saw them as devil worshippers, and they must have done it. And it's like, see, that's what I'm talking about. You're not doing what you're supposed to do and figuring out who really did this. And then I was looking at them and I was like, ain't no way. I understand kid on kid crime, but they didn't look like the type that was so violent and so malicious. And that's crazy, because the prosecutors really made these 3 teenagers look like the most vicious people ever. And they come to find out that they didn't even do it. Because, like I said, one of them had a whole alibi. A whole alibi that they didn't even care about. They don't really care about the facts. They don't care about what they can really prove. As long as you can paint the better picture, of what happened, and they're so terrible, they'll believe it. They'll believe it. If you put up a really good fight and have all this proof. And that's the crazy part. They lock people up with no proof, no evidence, no nothing. They're just like, yeah, it was you. For sure it was you. It was this and this at the crime scene that has no link to the defendant, the person, no nothing. And then they're just like, and then that's why I don't like when they ask the public for help, because it's like, you do the wrong things. You don't know how to do your own job. So then you're asking the public to do your job for you, which is crazy. So yeah. And ultimately, after years and years and years and being in prison, they finally were released on an Alford plea, which is a different type of plea. It's not a guilty or non-guilty. Alford plea is a plea to where they have a lot of evidence on you that might believe that it was you, but you're not going to say if you're guilty or innocent, because they have so much burden of proof. It seemed like you just might as well be. Yeah, they had a lot of quote-unquote evidence that they were devil worshippers, but I still didn't see the connection with the teen boys and the little boys. They just picked 3 random boys out. Like, it was like, and then what? It had to be 2 of them that did it, and it's like, I don't know. It didn't make sense to me. A lot of stuff that makes sense to me. I'm glad that they have the Innocence Project, and that's why I didn't want people. That's why I am part in favor of getting rid of the death penalty. They really abuse the death penalty a lot. They send these innocent people to death, and then they're like, "Oh, whoops! Turns out that they was innocent." And it's like, but you had so long. And I believe that's why they have the waiting and the holding period, but they're not doing what they're supposed to do in the holding and the waiting process of it all to make sure that they, we're not guilty. They're waiting until the last month or 2, and it's like, no, you had years. Evidence is improving. And it's so crazy because just because evidence is improving, that don't mean people's minds are advancing. It seems like it's going backwards, but hey, you know what I'm saying? And like the Central 5, I could not watch that series. I couldn't do it. That was just too heartbreaking. And to know that they were 100% innocent. And it was like people just being killed, being murdered for no reason. And it's like, how do y'all feel about killing innocent people? Like, I just don't get it. Like, you feel good at night knowing that you just killed an innocent person. That don't make you stay up at night. That's scary. That's scary to me. When you lay your head on your pillow and you're okay convicting an innocent person that you know didn't do this, but it's sound right in your mind because society's gonna leave you alone till they find out about the truth. And I just watched something on YouTube where they convicted this man, put him on death row for setting his house on fire, his kids and his wife. But turns out they didn't do the proper investigating to realize that somebody accidentally had a cigarette and it just made the whole apartment kaboom. And then the man had tried to escape and open the window. It made it 10 times worse. So now they're putting him in prison for something that he didn't even do. Luckily, he was able to prove it and get out. But the other man that was accused of this crime was not so fortunate. And he died on that table and told these people he didn't do it. They still didn't believe it. They still don't care. And it's like, I just don't understand. What's the point? What's the point of the legal system if all you're going to do is label somebody as guilty? Because it's innocent before proven guilty, not guilty before you even step into a courtroom. The whole point is to have a fair argument on the prosecution and the defense side, to hear both sides, to understand why someone is either innocent or guilty. What was so hard to deviate from that? What was the goal of deviating from that? Knowing that you're going to sleep good at night, knowing that you locked up or killed an innocent person is absolutely disgraceful. And we need to shame people more often for doing this stuff. We're not holding more people accountable for killing innocent people or locking innocent people away. It's not good enough. It's not good enough. We're going to start booing them, shaming them. What can we do to fight more for the innocents?